Yo, what is going on, boys? I am making a quick little update video to my Rise to Cog Gouki list that you saw. Because Gouki got some support and it is now part of the metagame. It is an extremely powerful deck. And to be honest, I was rewatching that video and a lot of it is still relevant from that video. There's only a few things to go over when it comes to Goukis, and I figured I would just kind of talk to them in a little update video instead of just remaking the whole video and essentially making you guys watch old content at that point. So here's something that to kind of talk about, just the deck list and kind of how it's played. I still think Life Point Boost Alpha is the way to go. There is, of course, 3 effects that you can use as well if you want to play with a little bit less of a defensive turn 1 build and go a little bit more aggro, especially if you want to play something like the Gouki. The Master Ogre, that's definitely something you can do, but I still think Life Point Boost Alpha, especially with the Mist Radiant, is the way to go. And even without the Mist Radiant, I still think Life Point Boost Alpha with Searchable Octo Stretch is the way to go. It's kind of up to you. You could just drop the Mist Radiant for something like a Malevolent Sin, or whatever it is that you want to do. The question of playing the Great Ogre or not playing the Great Ogre, I think you do play it when you're on the ladder, just because it gives you more options, but you don't necessarily have to. You do not need this card for the deck to succeed, because the most important cards for this deck to succeed is Dark Holes and Expendable Dies. However many you pull from the pack, you can basically replace, your Book of Moons, your MSTs, or what have you. You don't necessarily, because of Nightmare Phoenix, you don't necessarily need to pack your deck with as many back row removal, because if you just draw one of them plus your Nightmare Phoenix, you probably have a good enough board to kind of, win a game. So keep that in mind. Dark Hole is extremely good for the deck because you're able to use it both aggressively and defensively. You can use it just to pop your own Goukis for their search effects, as well as kind of be aggressive with your opponent. And if you're going to play the Dark Holes, you may as well start playing the Needle Ceilings as well. Needle Ceiling is essentially the same as Dark Hole, but you get to play way more defensive. So if you're not playing the Mist Radiant, for example, you can just set a Gouki monster or summon a Gouki monster, set up your Needle Ceiling, and then Needle Ceiling them on their turn. There are so many decks that spam way more than 4 monsters that this card has a lot of use for it. So you can go in for that if you wanted to play the Gouki Master as well instead of Mist Radiant. Keep that in mind. Overall, though, if you watch my old video, it's still all super relevant information in terms of how to play the deck. You would just add a couple of these staples while removing some of the anti-back row, and then you would replace, definitely get Nightmare Phoenix in there. Nightmare Unicorn's a little toss-up in the air. It's not necessary if you're running out of space, but definitely put Nightmare Phoenix. That is super important to get rid of those pesky back row that will stop you from, winning tournaments, or winning games, rather. I guess winning tournaments, too, but there you go. I kept the Mist Radiant, but you can take her out if you need to. And then Expendable Die, Dark Hole, Needle Ceiling into the deck is going to kind of make you way stronger. Again, if you want a more full detailed breakdown on how to play this deck, combos, everything like that, I'm going to link somewhere on here. We're going to link the video to the original video. Watch the original video and supplement what I told you in this video into that video, and you're good to go. You're up to date on Goukis. So there you go, boys. Take it easy. Till next time.